Okay, the next step in the Herzog gear upgrade is we have to remove the camshaft with the gear, and there's a bearing behind it. It's a pretty simple step. As you can see, as you rotate this gear, you have two holes in it, and it'll line up on two screws that hold a plate in and the bearing. I'll be honest with you, those are slotted screws that come in the engine. This is the second upgrade I did, and those slotted screws are harder to get out than the clutch screws. So when I did my rig and when I did Mrs. Cal Urolato's rig, I had to use an easy out to get those out. So I took those out last night, and I bought these Allen head ones at Ace Hardware, so I just put them back in there to show for effect. But anyhow, one of the first steps in getting the camshaft out is you got to get the lifters out of the way, the four lifters. So in order to do that, you have to remove the push rods on either side of the engine. So this is pretty simply done. I'm just going to show it demonstrated on one side, but you have to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So you have to remove the four nuts that hold the head on, and the rocker arm assemblies. And then you just pull the rocker arm assembly off, and the push rod tube slides right out. Now what you're going to want to do is put this back on for a couple of reasons. One, you want to remember what spot that's in. But two, we're going to have to be rotating the engine and doing some things, so you don't want the head to pop off. So you can just put this back on and just hand snug the nuts down, and that'll be enough to hold that on. We'll get the front one here. Slide that out, and the front one comes right out as well. So next what we have to do is, in order to make sure that the lifters are out of the way to pull the camshaft out, is we have to rotate the engine through a couple of different cycles, and that will make the lobes of the cam gear or the camshaft contact the lifters or the tappets, whatever you want to call them. And the fact that those rods aren't in there, it'll just push the tappets out, and it'll make it so the camshaft will clear when you go to pull it out. Okay, I've rotated the engine a couple of times around, so now I have to rotate it to where those screws line up again. I should just have to take those out, and the cam and the gear should slide right out once I take these out of there. So if you're going to do this project, strongly suggest you have an easy out set standing by when you go to remove the slotted screws that the factory put in there. There we go. And there's the camshaft. There's the cam bearing. I'm going to be replacing that and the cam gear when they come in.